Hello. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Do I have a good one here on the desk for today? This is Stamp It Like It's Hot, February edition. Welcome in, my friend. I am so glad that you are here. We are still working on Disney pages. We are still working through December of 2022. I am really trying to get these scrapped and into an album so that we can enjoy them. So I'd like to welcome you. I am Karen. I am the everything here behind a little kinder. We also are on Instagram, Facebook, and I have an email list down below as well. Let's dive into this one. Our challenge this month with Stamp It Like It Hot is stitches, but stamp stitches. I don't know about you, but I love the look of stamping on my pages, but I'm stamping. Oh, good grief. Stitching on my pages. I hate getting the sewing machine out. So stamping is the perfect answer. Now, I pulled out a couple of things to kind of give you an idea of what to look for in your stamps. So, two different ways to kind of go about this, I think. One is to look for a company that has given you an actual stitch. So this is Ellie Studios. It's the Noted Volume 2 stamp set. And this dotted line could be seen as a stitch. There's also, dashed. I guess that's dashed. There's also this dotted line at the bottom that you could use a pen and draw in between. So that could give you a different look. Those stitches would be closer together. So there's that idea. Then there's also something like this. This is Tim Holtz. These are the mini marks or mini media marks. This is a smaller version of two sets that have been put together. I don't happen to have the bigger version. Again, same kind of idea. If we look at this set, you can see here, there's some X's as if you had done, that crosshatch stitch. And then there's this one that looks like maybe you had stitched. Now, the reason I pulled out two different sets is I wanted to show you they really are kind of doing the same thing, but they have a different look. So this one is definitely messier than this one that looks absolutely straight. A third idea would be to find an alphabet set that has a dash in it and stamp that over and over and over again, like a bajillion and a half times. So I haven't gone through my alphabets to see if I have one. Probably should have done that, but I didn't. So I am not 100% sure where we're going to stitch on this layout. Because as it goes in my world, I planned this layout, thought about this layout, knew where I was starting from, and then it kind of has gone a little bit of a different direction as I've been working. So I have done some things to kind of help this process along. One is I have gone through, I knew the collection I wanted to use. This is Paige Evans' This Year's Christmas. Sugar Plum Wishes. So this is Sugar Plum Wishes. One of the things that I really liked about this collection was that it works well with Vicki Boutin's This Year's Christmas collection, which is Peppermint Kisses, I think it's called. So I may end up pulling some of that in as well. But what I did was I didn't find it. This was the photo that I wanted to scrap. This is a selfie of us. I do not ride Tower of Terror, my Disney people. I've ridden it plenty. I've also sat in the depths of the exit with a small child who couldn't ride for parent swap. So I've done it both ways. However, I love the walk down the road towards the Tower of Terror. So here's the hubs. Y'all, I've had this question, so I'm going to answer it here. Thanksgiving Day, he puts that hat on and doesn't take it off until Christmas is over. Yep. It is a whole thing. He wears a Santa hat everywhere he goes. I think it's the cutest thing ever. But it's hysterical because the day after Thanksgiving, or actually Thanksgiving evening, he goes and gets it out of storage, puts it on his head. Yeah. So that is him. And I don't know. It was funny to me that he's walking down the road. Everybody has on Mickey ears and he's got on a Santa hat without Mickey ears. And there were Santa hats with Mickey ears that we could have gotten him, but he was like, nope, not going to do that. So those are my photos. Obviously, I'm going to cut off the white part here. But that's what we're going to be working with. Then I really liked kind of the idea of building my own little swaggy border. So let's put this on the white paper so you can actually see it. So something along this line. I really liked this in the middle. Maybe pop that up a little bit. Don't even mind the ribbon hanging out. I think it's super, super cute. So we may do some of that. I really like that this brings in all of the colors into kind of the title area or a large embellishment area. I also really liked this. And I'm thinking we may use this piece to mat with when we get into our excuse me, into the photos. All right, this is going to be on an absolute white background. And there were some reasons for that. One is to help everything pop off. We may cut this down to go on top of here, and then I would stitch around the edge. And that's actually where I think we may go. Another thought would be to cut this one down, still stitch, and by stitch, I mean stamp, because remember, we're doing this the easy way, around the edge, but have this. We'll see what happens here in a second when we start working with papers. So I use a pear tree cut file that I'm missing a piece of. We will find it here in a minute. Oh, heaven help us, y'all. Oh, there it is. It's on the very bottom. I used a pear tree cut file that does these really great Mickeys. So let me peel this off real quick. Whoops. So it does this really great Mickey head. I don't know why my paper's doing that. And so my thought was that I might actually take this one and layer it underneath the black that I'm wanting for the top. So this is just a gray. It happens to be a shade of gray that I don't use a lot. But my thought was that I would put the black over it. It gives it just a little more dimension. I did take this cut file and did the offset to get my Mickey ears already cut out. So these are super ready to go. They should just slide right in behind. If I did everything right. And y'all, that could be a whole thing. Yep. They should slide right in behind and just have enough room to be glued on. So I'm sure there's a better way to do it than the way I did it. It's just, you know, old dog, new trick kind of situation. So I have my Mickey heads ready. I have my backgrounds ready. One thing that I don't love about the cardstock that I'm using is this black to me is not black enough. So I pulled out black soot and just a brush, blending brush. And so all I'm going to do is come along the edge and just really get some black down into this texture. It's going to give it some depth as we work so that it's not as, I don't want to say light gray. They call this graphite. Graphite to me is more like this black soot color. It's in my world, graphite would be dark. Evidently, in this paper company, definition of graphite is not as dark as I would like it to be. But that's okay. We can always fix it with ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the mic off, put some music on. We'll get this kind of all put together, and then we'll come back together at the end, look at the finished layout, talk about anything we need to talk about. All right, guys, here we go. there's the finished layout. So the cut file worked out beautifully. I really like how that went together. Again, that's a pear tree cut file with the Mickey heads. Super, super fun. Gives just a splash of color. We're just going to call this one Hollywood Tower because that's what it is. The Hollywood Tower Hotel, or the Tower of Terror. I had thought about maybe calling this Care to Drop In, but y'all, I don't ride this ride anymore. I've done it a couple of times. Not doing it. Free fall is not my thing. If you love free fall, go forth and prosper. Man, go forth and prosper. So this one for me is more about the ambiance and the beauty. One thing I wanted to note, if you are here and you have never been to Disney and you're thinking, wow, there are a lot of things that I'd like to experience, but I don't want to. There is a bailout area. You can get in the queue with your family and see all the beautiful ambiance. I believe of every ride that there is a point at which you can bail. I do know there is on here because I have done that. When the little one got to be big enough that he could ride with his sister, I would get in line with them and I would get all the way up to where they were loading and they would say, how many in your party? And I would go, 3 are riding and 1 needs to go down. And they would look at me and I'm like, yeah, not riding it. I did ride our daughter's very first trip that she was able to ride on it. And I did it again when our son was old enough to ride on it. And then I was done. And so, yeah, it's not my favorite. I don't like free falls, but great layout. It is something that I enjoy walking down this avenue to see. Rock and Roller Coaster's right around the corner. That's another one that's really fun staging wise. But I don't ride. I don't go upside down either roller coasters, and that one does. So yeah, I'm not the thrill seeker. However, I am the family documenter. So here it is, documented, ready to go in our album. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I will do my very best to answer them as quickly as possible. I don't always see them immediately. I don't know why YouTube doesn't notify me on everyone's comments. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. That's very interesting. But if you have questions, let me know. It could be about a product. It could even be about my experiences at Disney. I love it. I've been going since 1973, back when it was only the Magic Kingdom. And then once we had kids, there was a point in time that we were annual pass holders. We do not live in Florida. We actually are in Arkansas. But there was a point in time that it just made more sense cost-wise. Don't think that's necessarily the case anymore. But love to talk Disney. Love to talk scrapbooking. Love that you were here. Make sure you like down below and subscribe. It really, really does help those of us out who are making content. And my friend, if I could ask a huge favor, share this with your Disney loving friends. I am, like I said, I'm working through these Disney pictures. We have the Run Disney Race, the Wine and Dine Food Festival from 2023, and then, you know, whatever happens in 2024. So thank you so much for being here. Until we're together next time in a video, my friends, go make some memories. Bye-bye.